Previously, we have seen the demonstration on programming for the server side of RMI application. Now, I am going to demonstrate the steps to implement the client side of RMI application. Here in this slide, we have 3 steps to implement the client side of RMI application. The first step is to get RMI registry object. The second step is to look up for the interface object in the registry. And finally, the third step is to invoke the method from the interface object. Now let's go to our Eclipse. We need a new class that represents the client-side application of RMI. To do that, let's create a new class with the main method. Click New Class. We do not want the class to belong to any package. Leave it empty. Provide name for the class. For example, temperature, client, RMI, app. We want the main method. Check it. Then click Finish. This is the class that represents the client side of RMI application. This line is not needed, so we remove it. There are 3 steps to program RMI for the client side, which are: first, get registry; second, look up for the remote object; and finally, invoke method from the remote object. So here we are, the 3 steps. To get the registry object at the client side is the same code that we use on the server side. Which is this particular line here. To do that, we use locate registry dot get registry. We use get registry without any parameter. This method get registry returns registry object. So registry, name the object as RMI registry equal to locate registry. Our class here do not know registry. So we import it. And this line here will throw an exception, so we need to surround it with try and catch block. And Eclipse will do for us. Let's move all our comments inside the try block. And I think we are good here. Okay, the next step is to look up for the remote object from the registry. So we use RMI registry. Then use lookup. Select this method. This method here, we need to specify the name of the remote object. Previously, in the server side, we used the name sensor Jacen as reference to the remote object. This is the name that will be used at the client side. We specify sensor Jacen as parameter in the lookup. Lookup method here, we return an object of interface to the client. So we define an object from interface temperature sensor. Let's name it as remote sensor Jasin and equal to this method here. Our class do not know temperature, just temperature sensor, so we import it. We need to cast the return object from the lookup, so we cast it to temperature sensor, and we are done. So this line here gives us an exception, so we add to the existing clause, and here we are. And finally, we invoke the method from the remote object. So we use remote sensor Jasin dot, we get the temperature, so we invoke temperature, select this method. This method here, we return an integer value that represent the current temperature. So we assign it to an integer variable named current temperature. Now we are done. So let's display the value of current temperature. Okay, so we are done with displaying the current temperature. As a good programmer, we will provide the documentation for this class. This class represents the client side of RMI application. Okay, save it and we are done.